Okay, I'm just trying to confirm that you can see the screen that I'm trying to flash here with the agenda. Can someone confirm?
It's visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so just try right to the point. So this is what we have for today. And like we said, it's an hour, 2 to 3. We are going to be looking at probably the most important bit is optimizing data collection and entry in the HIV Prevention Tracker. And a couple of items that we are looking at, starting with the introduction, of course, the purpose of the webinar. Then as well, we shall have the HIV Prevention Portal Tracker overview. And we have the capture app versus the tracker capture app. Then we shall be looking at best practices for data collection and entry. We shall also have demonstrations on the efficient data entry and performance dashboards. So most of these might seem like a lot, but we're going to have them overlap, like from 3 to 5. Most of these will overlap. So we hope that we shall have some bit of more time for troubleshooting, QAs, and also looking at the next steps moving forward. So straight to the system, I'm just going to again log into the tracker. Ignore this. Let me just go to the tracker. So as you're well aware, I'm assuming that everyone on the call, or most of us, have at least used the tracker before. So there's no one that is entirely fresh to the tracker, because the purpose for this is just for us to have, troubleshooting tips, ways to work better, and what has actually changed for the tracker. Reason for the webinars is that before we've been having physical trainings, but it's been a challenge of late because of the changes that are happening, worldwide, and because of the standing orders, the work stop orders and stuff like that. So we hoped that we would utilize the online platforms to be able to exchange, and interact with you guys. And with this being the first one, I'm hoping that by the end of this, we shall have suggestions on how we can actually improve these engagements. But moving forward, I think let me just start off with what I wanted to demo for you. Then we can, discuss after this. So we are basically going to be looking at the capture app. Remember, for those of you that have been using the tracker before, it's been a replacement for formerly the tracker capture app, which is still in existence, but it's going to be phased out for the next release of the version of DHIS 2. That's why I wanted to look at data capture or entering data into the tracker and better ways of how we can actually manage these processes for us to have meaningful data out of the system. Maybe I think I need to introduce myself first, but for those that don't know me, the name is Aus Kalega, and I'm a systems analyst with METS. So I'll just be taking you through this particular session. Please feel free to write down your comments or actually put them in the chat. We shall also be referring to that for your feedback and support. So as you log into the tracker, and I'm assuming that all of us can get to this particular point that I'm displaying on the screen. If you can't, we might have to arrange another webinar just to get you on board for that particular one. But for this, we are taking people that actually been using the tracker before. So the first thing is for us to clear cache as always, because we don't want temporary memory interfering with our entries or interactions with the system. So you'll forgive my speed again if I'm too fast for some of you, but this is it's actually being recorded. So the assumption is that after here, we shall be able to upload this particular webinar onto our portal for those that have missed and those that maybe need something to review or look at again. So it will be dropped on our portal and we shall share the link as well after here. Okay, so I'll select all and then clear my cache. So reason for some of the cache failing to stop is that you might have other tabs open somewhere else that are, restricting you or failing you from clearing your cache. So the best thing is for you to, first of all, clear any other tabs that are open with the tracker. So because for me, I'm using a lot of tabs on mine, I could just quit my browser and maybe reopen it. Then have it opened again for me, but to be able to clear cache. It's very important because the reason for clearing cache is that it gives you that opportunity or ability to capture data or fetch data directly from the server with the updates. If you don't clear your cache, it means that you might be working with temporary memory within your system and it might affect your data entries and also analysis at the end of it all. So I'll just go back to the tracker. Log in again, but I think I can use a training account just so that we can relate to what I'm saying. So with this, I can select all, if at all any of the local storage has any items. So after here, you just clear, and you can see it has now cleared because I had to restart my browser because some other tabs might be failing or not enabling me to clear my cache. So what we are going to be looking at is this particular application right here, which is called Capture. Previously, for the data entrance, those that are on the call at the moment, you've been using Tracker Capture or you're still using Tracker Capture for entering your data. But moving forward, this application is going to be phased out and you won't be able to see it for the next releases. That's why we have both for now as a transition. But we recommend that please make sure that you try and practice using Capture app because it's a feature of entering data into DHIS2 or any other tracker programs that we might be utilizing on the other side. So with this, I'm not going to go into this because I'm aware most of us, or if not all, know how this one works. Maybe what we can just look at is why maybe the change from Tracker Capture to Capture. You can just have a few things to look at for that. So this is the interface for the Tracker Capture, as you can see on the left side of the screen. And this is the new one for Capture app. There are a few changes, but they are also major in terms of how you're going to utilize the system. As you can see before, we had the left pane, which had the org units and what you can use to control the view on the working list, this side here. In the new one, the menu is at the top, as you can see. So we have program, which you select first. We have the org units. We have the ability to create or search for our clients at the very top, as opposed to how it was designed before. We shall look at this in the demo instance. So away from this, as you can see, we have the upgrade, and this particular app includes all features of the Tracker Capture plus the new improvements. So Tracker Capture is duplicated, and DHIS2 starting with version 4.2, it will not have the Tracker Capture application within it. So 4.1 still has it, but they have managed to transfer all the features from Tracker Capture into Capture plus even more features. So it means that all the functionalities are now available in the Capture app if you have or get time to actually navigate it. So the additional features and enhancements have also been introduced, as we shall see. So the Capture Hub app has a modernized design, as you saw in the first images and as we shall look at during the demo. And as you saw, the org units, the program selectors are now at the top bar. So we have an improved navigation for better user experience. So users can easily configure, save, and share working lists directly within the UI. We shall look at the working lists and their use as well within the system. So we have more flexibility in managing data, as we shall see as well. And for the Tracker Capture now, remember we were saving data automatically. As you enter data into a form, it automatically saves it even without you having to complete a particular form. So right now, what happens with the Capture app is that whichever data you enter, if you want to actually confirm that it's the accurate data or the actual data for the client, you have to tap on the save button at the bottom of the page. It's not automated as it was before. However, you can still have the option to save it as a draft and complete it. We shall look at those as well. So for the new features in the Capture app, we have the enhanced changelog to track modifications, as we shall see. You can easily monitor when an activity happened, when data was entered into the system, by who, and when. So the things that have been dropped are things like for the version 42, we realize that the Tracker Capture will entirely be dropped from the system. And so we encourage you to transition as soon as you can to use or utilize the Capture app. So Capture app is the future of DHIS2, like we said. So this will be the future for collecting data within the tracker applications, as we shall be modifying the systems moving forward. So we encourage you to do this so that you can take advantage of the new features, and please keep updated via our WhatsApp group and the portal for any later modifications or updates. So I'm going to go back to the tracker so that we can follow with our agenda. So we had a brief introduction and the purpose of this particular webinar, then we've talked about this. So the introduction that we shall have is about the prevention portal. For those of you that haven't used the portal before, the link is prevention, and for those that don't have it, as you're logging into the tracker, it has, let me first log out. It has a link at the footer down here for HIV Prevention Portal, even down here with a hint for you to add your email addresses. Maybe again, before I forget, this note is very important, and I believe most of us are ignoring it. We put it here for a reason, and people keep calling us about, not being able to log into the system, and they've forgotten their passwords. This is very important. Please, after here, or even now, if you can, just log into the tracker, add your email address to your profile. It will be easier for you to reset your password without even calling METS. Okay? Sometimes it saves you a lot of time in cases when we are busy or we can't be reached. Please make sure that you add your active email address in your profile so that you can be able to reset your password in the future. It's very important. Away from that, I'm just going to show you that this is the link for the prevention portal. And if I click on this, it will take me to the actual link for the portal, which is prevention.mets.or.ug. So reason for this is that away from the group, the WhatsApp group that we have, remember WhatsApp group is limited for communication. So we have this as an extension for us to be able to communicate more effectively and efficiently in a way that an topic can be expanded further within the portal as opposed to the WhatsApp group that has limitations. So it's easy to access this as long as you have the link. Just go to it, it will give you a page like this. As you can see, you have the feeds and updates. And the latest one is about this particular webinar, which has the details of how you can join and also the agenda in full when you click on read more. So we shall be posting most of the updates here, but also in the WhatsApp group. But however, this will have detailed content and for you to be able to follow up and engage with the conversations a bit deeper. So as you can see, JK is already actively utilizing the portal. Thanks, JK. And the other guys, please come in and submit your concerns, give us feedback so that we can support you however we can. So right here, what you do is that when you access this without logging in, the portal is a bit limited. But once you sign in, then you have access to better features. You can easily post. As you can see right now, I can't post because I haven't logged in. So you don't want any content from anyone that is visiting the site. And for you to sign in, you just come to sign in or even sign up. It will give you the same login page. So to log in, you use your prevention tracker credentials. I said this again, and the notice is already here. Please log in using your HIV Prevention Tracker credentials. You don't create any other credentials, but if you have access to the tracker, that's what you put in here and have the same access. Okay, just put in your username from the tracker and the password, the same password. Everything is the same. These two systems communicate, so they'll be able to exchange that information for you. So right now I can log in as me, because this is what I use for the tracker. And then you'll be able to see that I've signed in and my account will be reflected. Right here, as you can see the top right corner, it has my name, and actually it grabs my photo automatically if it's on my email, whichever email you use, it will automatically grab your photo. But you can still go into your profile and change your details if at all it's not representative of what you need, like you saw JK do. So we encourage that a lot so that you can communicate better on the platform. So from this, you can see that now I can be able to share what is on my mind. Yeah. So you can share to the public. This means you're sharing with everyone on the portal, only members, only your connections, or only yourself. This will be private if you do this. So you can have something posted, but only for your eyes within the portal. That is still okay. So we shall be posting videos, we shall be posting documents, and also polls for you to be able to vote on topics that we shall be discussing moving forward. So the navigation, I'm just going to go through this briefly so that you can have time for the other bits of the meeting. We have resources, which is most important, but you can have time and navigate the system later. And I wanted us to look at this. Under resources, we have manuals this is still under development, but we shall be updating it as soon as the manual is done, but this is still under development. We have downloads, we have photos, and we have videos. Most recently, we've been working on tutorials so that we can also make it easy for you to have content shared with you. But under videos, when you go to videos, you'll be able to see the tutorials that we've been able to share so far in terms of videos or video clips. So these are also on the YouTube channel formats. As you can see, we have data entry videos, we have data extraction videos, and also we have tips and tricks. So right here is where we shall be adding the webinar as well, and you'll be able to see the link at the end of the day today after we are done with this. So you can as well see that we have downloads where you can get resources and materials. As an example, if you have soft copies of templates, forms, tools, they'll all be under download. So when you go to data collection tools, you'll be able to see what is under there. You have education and training, you have the support forms and templates and stuff like that. So even for the slides that we are sharing, or the ones that we've used in this particular webinar, they will be dropped here after this particular call. So you can see we have a couple of them. So feel free to go in and download all these PDFs if you want to understand the tools better on your side. So we have all the content in one place. Okay, so away from this, I think if you need to contact or reach out to us, the contacts are in here for the METS contact personnel that are working on supporting the system. Isaac, myself, and Winnie are all here in the contact, so you can feel free to reach out to us in case of any issues. So we also have a link to the back to the tracker. In case you've forgotten it or you don't know the link, you just come here and it will take you back to the tracker for you to log in. So that was a bit brief, but I hope it was a bit useful, and I encourage you to log in and have access to the tracker, because we shall be posting a lot of updates on there. So let me log in again using the training account so that we can continue with the next session. So we have covered this, and so we are going to just be looking at the key features of the prevention tracker, and then we shall be looking at accurate data entry, the importance of accurate data entry in the HIV prevention at the same time. So these are going to be combined. These are 5 items, the 3 to 5 are going to be combined in the demonstration so that we can save some bit of time for you guys to give in feedback. Okay, so back to the tracker. I'll clear my cache again, just in case. And then go to capture. So this is the interface for capture for those of you that are doing data entry and those that might be interested in just learning how it works. To start with, it has a top menu now, which asks you to select the program first. So by default, we only have one program in the system, and that is the HIV Prevention Tracker. So that is selected by default because it's the only one. The org unit, you have to first select which org unit you're going to capture your data for, okay? If it's for any other level besides a facility level, your data won't be captured in the system. As an example, if you're capturing data for the METS district, it will tell you that selected program is invalid for selected org unit, okay? Reason for that is that we enter our data or we append it to a particular org unit and not any other level. We don't do it at region, not sub-county, not district, not any other level, but facility. So it means that in here, you have to select your facility. It's until then that actually your data will be reflected. As you can see, I've selected HIS facility, and this is the data that was previously entered into the system. So away from this, you can see that even at the very top here, you can do the other functions without leaving the space. You can search, you can clear the selection so that you can maybe change any of these filters, or you can create or register a new person. So these are the things that you can easily get or access from this particular interface without having to go away from it. So assuming that you're creating a new individual, you just come here and say create new person. It will give you the registration page. As you can see, the interface is slightly different from what we had before, because before I had a couple of widgets, tabular data entry, on the side we had profile and stuff like that. That was on the dashboard. But on this other side now, we just have this form that that is from the tool as it was designed. So as you can see, by default, it will give you the current date as the registration date. But please make sure that you don't leave this data as it is, but pick it from the tool, from the service tracking form, okay? This is the data to pick from the service tracking form rather. So you'll have to go back, maybe if you're entering backlog, you have to select the actual dates. So for the dates, we have the months first and the years here. So to go back in time, you can just click on this, the arrow buttons or besides the year, then you go back or forward, depending. So if it's 2024, you can still go back and enter the data. So you're assuming that maybe you're entering data for Jan, you just go back to Jan and select the particular day, and it will be updated in this particular field. So the service model here, you have two approaches or models within the system. You can either be entering data from a health facility, or you can be doing it from the community. For health facilities, you just come to this, and then it will just give you data for the health facilities. If you're from the community, guys from the DICs and CSOs, you don't select health facility. You then select community so that you can get your forms as they are on your tools. Because remember, we now have tools for both community and facility. And for that, you have to be careful when you're actually selecting the service model within the system. The service scheme, we all know that we use COP and the rest of it. So I'm not going to fill up this form for the interest of time because I believe we've all gone through this. It's just the interface that is really different. A few things to highlight is that we introduced recently from the upgrade, introduced the client unique ID generator. And this was something that was being requested from you guys that for those that don't have the KPIC generator or have issues with, generating IDs, how do we, navigate the challenges of having unique IDs for the clients? And this was the solution that we have at the moment, and we think it can sort you out for now. So what it does is that it gives you an automated ID from the system, and it picks codes from the facility, codes from the DHIS2, codes for the facility again. It gives you the current year, current month, and the numbers keep on adding in sequential format for that particular month. But those numbers reset every month. But what will change is the year and the month. But the number will be unique for every client. So you don't have to worry about it being duplicated or something like that. And you can create as many numbers as you can without being able to finish them up. So if you're using manual IDs, this is where the manual IDs go. And the beauty with this is that it gives you hints. If you don't understand a particular field, there is this particular icon here, if I can zoom in a bit. This icon, it's for info. If you click on it, it will give you a description of that particular item or element that you're at. For example, it will tell you this is automatically generated client ID by the tracker. And then this other one, it says that this is a manually generated client ID at the facility or one by the KPIC generator. So this is where the manual one or the KPIC generator ID goes, if you're using the KPIC generator, that is. Moving forward, I'll just go through these. If at all, maybe you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. Then I can come back to those as well. So I don't see anything else new from right here, besides maybe the date of birth, that the format before it was a bit confusing. Now it's just straightforward. If you select the date, say I go back in time, I select a particular month or whatever it is, and I drop this, it will automatically do this. The only bit with this is that it's much faster than the tracker capture app. Remember the other time you had to click on this, then click away from it for it to be able to generate this particular age in years. Right now, it's instant. As long as you select the date of birth, everything else autofills instantly. It doesn't wait for you to click away from it. So that's the beauty of you utilizing this as opposed to the other one, because the other one was giving you even time to even edit the fields that you're not supposed to edit. So this is a bit more advantageous if you compare. The rest of it is really the same. Like I said, I'm just going through things that are really important so that you can save time for feedback and comments so that we can support you better. Okay. Screening for HIV. The rest of these are really the same. Type of service model. Maybe for this particular part here is that for enrolling CSO, we were able to transfer it at the bottom. Before it was at the top, but we realized that having it in this section is a bit better for you to manage your data again. So from this point, after selecting the enrolling CSO, if at all it was a community thing, this happens because we selected community here. If we selected health facility, you realize that the type of service model changes. Yeah. Now you have the name of the entry point at the facility as opposed to the enrolling CSO only. So if at all, maybe these also apply, that's when you can actually put them in the system. But all that depends on what you've selected up here via the service model. So those are the few changes that I wanted us to look at for this particular part. And then away from this, assuming that you're done, you have to save your person. So before you had save and add new, save and just save and continue, stuff like that. Now you can just save your details, and once you save, it will automatically show you the errors, if any, and you can just correct those before you actually finalize. But for this particular session, I'm going to cancel and then just go to the client details for us to be able to maybe look at the interface within the Capture app. So this is a client that I've clicked on at random. And as you remember, before we had this interface, but now it's been slightly changed. So now we have notes, which are really important per client. You can easily put notes per client if maybe you need something highlighted about a particular client. If at all someone else is looking at their details, if they have challenges, allergies, if they have issues, I don't know, whatever it could be, you could add it as a note and it will be generalized for everyone to look at within the system if they click on the client dashboard. So these blocks are a bit different. Here you can easily create a new event or schedule an event at the very top here, or you can go to the stages block, stages and events. Under here, we have all the stages listed. As you can see, they are block by block. And we have these two here. Actually, there are three with the exit as well. So here we can see that we have the prep screening and the details we talked about earlier, that this system keeps log of most of the actions or activities that happen. This is what you can see here. You can see we have these highlights. Those that have completed, it means that someone's data was entered and actually completed in the system. If it's not completed, it means someone saved it as a draft, and we shall see that as well. The encounter part of it is that it will show you who is actually having an overdue visit. Those that have missed their appointments, it will be highlighted. As you can see, this one is due 2 days ago. They were meant to appear 2 days ago, but they didn't turn up. It will show you that they have an overdue event and our encounters. So this gives you better information as compared to tracker capture for you to be able to actually manage your clients. The exit is the same, but now to add, in case you're adding new data, the first thing is you go to the particular stage that you're interested in. You can even collapse an entire stage if you don't want to look at their data and you're just interested in maybe one of them. So if it's prep screening, for example, it will show you all the events under there. So we say this is for stages and events. A stage is this very title here that you're going to provide a service for. Then the event is that actual visit for the client at or to the facility. That's what we call an event. So you can see that in the prep screening stage, we have one event. Then in the encounter stage, we have 2 events. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so out from this, if you're interested in prep screening as an example, you just come to prep screening, then you click on add new prep screening event. Once you click on that, it will open up the form for you and you enter it as before again. So I want to again go through entering the form for the interest of time, because we have about 25 minutes left and I want us to have some feedback. So and here, unless you have a question, but still you can handle that during the feedback session. So the form is the same, really. What I wanted just to highlight within here is that what has majorly changed is that we have notes at the bottom and we also have the scheduling as a tab now. It's not something that you will pop up as it was before within the tracker capture application. So maybe to display this or show this better is that I can go back to the dashboard. Oh, we have what we call the breadcrumbs here. This gives you navigation to know where actually you are on the page. So right now it's showing us that we are in the person list, we are under enrollment dashboard. So if you click on any of the stages, this link will change. As an example, if I went to, let me first expand this, collapse the stage, and then I add a new encounter event as an example to change to show that we are under person list, we are under enrollment dashboard by creating a new event. Okay, so this new event is for the encounter now. And this is where we now enter our data. And if you're to schedule now for the next visit, that is the second column on the tool. If you're to schedule for the next visit now, you have to go to the schedule tab right here, so that you select which facility they'll be visiting. By default, it will be the current facility. But if at all you maybe want to refer someone temporarily for a particular service elsewhere, then you can easily cancel this out and to show you all the facilities that you have for your account. And you can easily say that for the next visit, you'll actually be visiting a different facility as an example, and you give it a date, and you say maybe they'll come back on 28th of Feb. And then you also give a note as to why you're referring them. Probably they have issues or they need a service that you guys don't provide, need more services or something like that, okay? So this is where you put the note so that the other people can understand why you actually referred a particular client to them. So when you save the note, it will capture your details when you enter the note, and the other people can also be able to receive that scheduled visit with the client's information on their side without even having that client enrolled on their side. So it's easy for you to actually make those temporary referrals within here. So when you schedule, this means that you're confirming the schedule and it will be posted on the system and as well as on the other side of the facility. So you can see that we've scheduled this and it's at test facility and we have a note. This means that there's a note that has been appended to that visit, so the other people can also see or follow up with that particular client. Okay, so away from this, I think the other bit is that on this other side of the screen, the right side of the screen, we say this is about the notes, so you can write any notes generally about the client. This is general notes about the client, and we have the personal profile, which gives you the biodata from the registration page. Okay. So if you're to edit, right now you can just click on edit and it will give you the provision. If you have provision, that is, if you're a data entrant. If you're not a data entrant, you're not allowed to edit. So what you can only do is maybe when you come to this and you have also the ability to, let me first make this full screen so that it's clear. So to edit, you click on this and to give you the form, like we said, to give you the full form as it was at registration, and you make the edits, and then you save the changes. So if you don't want to save, you just cancel, and then you can easily navigate the other bits of it. So the last block at the bottom, and probably I think we should stretch this to the top, is that we have the enrollment block, which shows you if the client is active or not, to show you their registration date, when they start, where they started from, and who owns the particular record for the client. So the difference with this is that this started at is the facility that initially registered this client in the system. Then the owned, if at all, if you're to make a transfers of client data, say if at all the client is transferring from you to another facility permanently, that data will be transferred to their system, but it will remain on record that you actually initially registered that client. So started at is the initial one, owned is the current person that is owning that client. So to do the transfers, maybe the other thing that you can look at is under here, we have enrollment actions. Once you click on it, it will show you this. Do you want to complete the client's enrollment? Do you want to mark them for follow-up? So this is also important. Just in case you need to follow up a client for any reason, you can just mark them for follow-up, and we shall see how these particular flags come in handy. So you can transfer a client here. Once you click on this, it means that now you're going to transfer their ownership. That's why they say that this is owned by. So you're just transferring the ownership, but the registration remains at your facility. However, every record will be transferred to the other facility now. So remember, we're at HIS facility at the moment, but if I want to transfer this client entirely to test facility, I just click on the facility itself. Then it will tell you that transferring enrollment ownership from HIS facility to test facility. So if you confirm this, then you come here and transfer. So if you can take record of this, let me just record this ID, just for us to see that actually the record has been transferred. Then I transfer again. Click on test facility, then I transfer. Okay, so you can see that now the change has happened, okay? You see that started at is at HIS facility, but the record is now owned by test facility. It means that when I go to test facility now, I'll be able to see that particular record as a record that is part of mine, but not originally by me as a facility in this case. So the other bits is that if you have the ability to delete, this is only for the M&E officers that can delete. So the rest of you cannot delete, but you have to report your details in case you have errors in your data. Then your M&E officers can support you to delete those particular records from the system. I'm going to move away from this again for the interest of time and go back and just to maybe to show you that the record was transferred to another facility, and then we can maybe go on with our agenda. Let me go back to the person list, and then I change my facility to tests, and then I search. So the search part of it is that it gives you the ability to search by the unique ID generator, which is the new one that is automated from the system. You can use the manual one or the one of the KPIC. So this is the one that is manual or by the KPIC, and as you can click on the hints to show you which one it is. You can also choose to search by name right here. So I'm going to search by, oh, did I pick a unique ID? No, I don't remember which one I picked, but let me try both. Okay, this is the generator actually. This format is for the generator. So I'll just take this and search by unique ID generator. And as you can see, it has popped up and it shows you that the record is, they started here, they're still here, but the record is now being viewed at the test facility because I'm under test facility right here. So it means that the record is actually transferred and everything else is now in my facility. Back to the agenda. We've covered this. Registration via capture app, best practices, data entry, standardized data entry workflows. So the workflows again was embedded within the same session. We looked at how facilities can handle and communities, but it was really brief. But I'm hoping that we all have a history about it, so we can maybe engage better. So avoiding common errors and inconsistencies. We saw the error messages that were popping up. We have validation rules within the system. So that caters for most errors, but if at all you have anything that maybe is a bit different, you can raise it as well and we look at it. How to handle repeat visits and follow-ups. Repeat visits are already handled within here. So if at all, like you can see for encounters, these are repeat visits. Okay, it means the client can come back at any time and get a service under that particular stage as an event. So here you just keep on adding the repeated events. Those are the ones that they're talking about here. Okay, we talked about efficient data entry. performance dashboards. So for the dashboards part of it, okay, time is running faster than I thought. Let me go back to the dashboards now. So away from this, I'm going to show you a few things that have maybe been added into the dashboard that we hope that we can share with you and maybe also interact. And again, if at all time is not enough here, we can carry the conversation to the portal and have further discussions thereafter. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. If I can click on this, I hope I shared some here. Okay, so as you can see again, the dashboard has also a bit changed because we upgraded the interface. So now to navigate your dashboard is that you see that now we have the plus button to add a new dashboard. For those of you that want to add dashboards, the button is still in the same place, but for the list of dashboards now they're all under here. So you can just click on this, type to search if there are so many, and also you can be able to navigate whichever you want. So the one highlighted here, it means that it's the one that is being displayed. And to change this, we've tried to work on some few dashboards, and the ones that have, I think it's MOH, are the ones that we're trying to actually think about to see if they can actually work out for your better data utilization or use. So we have one for data cleaning, as you can see. What this one will be doing is that it will be helping you see which data has issues, which data needs to be cleaned out in the system. And we are going to be having a couple of widgets. To start with, as you can see, we have clients with missing prep numbers at encounter, clients with missing prep initiation dates at encounter. And we're going to be adding a little more information on this dashboard, just for you to be able to look at which information actually is missing for you to have clean data in the system. So these are things we're thinking about, and please feel free to give us feedback, see how we can improve this, or even make it better, or drop it if it's not needed. So the other dashboard that we have is the performance dashboard. This one will be showing you how you're actually performing in terms of the cascades, in terms of whichever indicators you think about. So this is work in progress again, but depending on your access rights, you will only be able to see your facilities, okay, for your account, not everything else. So for those that have access to the entire IP facilities, they can be able to actually just log in, go to this dashboard and look at their performances, okay? So we are going to be adding a lot of stuff in here again. You can see we have the prep city performance, by service model, we have by all facilities, we have by population categories, this is for prep new. We have some other things that we are going to be adding in here, but these are things that we are thinking about to improve the system. So far, that is it for the dashboards part of it. I can go to the next item. Step-by-step data entry. We looked at this, validation rules and data checks. We looked at that. Exploring new performance dashboards. We've just looked at that. So I think we can just go to the session of you guys giving us feedback, Q&A, troubleshooting, and the next steps. I think for now, this was really brief, but because we have limited time, I think it can also help us plan better for the next webinars. But now I can call upon you guys to give us feedback for the remaining minutes that we have. Thank you. Meantime, let me just check in the chat, see if there's something. Oh, okay. There's really something. Okay, let me just go through the chat first before you guys come in. This the yes, my portal doesn't work when I try to sign in with my tracker login credentials. Okay, so this one is saying that their portal doesn't work when they try to sign in with their tracker login credentials. The first thing you have to do is first try to sign in into the tracker. If it works in the tracker, it should work on the portal. If it doesn't, please contact me or contact any of us on this other side. And I see the responses here. The credentials allow you login. Okay, so Joseph is also supporting. Please reach out to all of us. We can support you, and the community can support you. I believe most people have logged in. We can as well support where we can't. Increase on your voice. Oh, I hope it wasn't really low throughout, but you didn't comment on that. So I hope it was okay. Do DICs make encounters on the system? The answer is yes, because encounters are the services that you provide for a client when they come for a particular service, okay? Those are the visits that they come for. So the encounters for the DICs, yes, they do make encounters. And actually, Joseph has also responded to that. Why can't we get this training in physical meeting? Because okay, so like we said earlier, we can't have physical meetings right now. And if you realize right now, people are engaged in other trainings, other meetings, and so on. So for us to be able to reach out to the entire country at the same time, the shortest time possible, with the least resources, this is what we can do for now. But if you feel like we need a physical meeting, feel free to reach out to us, contact us just in case you need it to be physical. But for now, we thought this would be a bit saving on your time and resources. Speed gecko. Yeah, like I said, I'll be fast in this, but this is being recorded and I'll upload it so that you can slow it down a bit. So you can slow down the video later. Yeah. You can slow down the video later. I thought I was alone, regardless of, okay, this session needs to be physical, otherwise a nice one, but still with data interface. Okay. This is noted, data times is a little bit difficult, capture up needs hands-on. So people need hands-on, I agree. And like we said, you can make a request if really we need us physically. Never said. Yeah, okay, I can see. I think I was really fast, but it was intended because we have a short time. Maybe we can plan ahead and make it a bit longer next time, or cover less next time. Are we still entering baseline data? No, the answer is we're not entering baseline data in the baseline stage. Okay, maybe the difference would be is that baseline data is now in under encounter, okay? But we don't enter it into the baseline as a stage because that one was dropped. So if you're entering baseline data, it's entered as the first visit within the encounter stage. So the answer is yes and no. The yes is because it's under encounter stage and it's the first visit, which is the same visit date as the registration date. That is the baseline data. So yes. No, if you're trying to look for baseline stage. I hope that answers you. Like before, some DICs have been entering just the first information and the rest was being completed by the facility. We're doing all now. I believe DICs have been trained. If you haven't been trained, please reach out. But most of the DICs have been trained on how to use the tracker. So we believe that you can handle your data because now you have your own tools and facilities have their own tools. So yes, please, you enter your own data now, unless it's a different arrangement internally on your side. Okay, hello colleagues, this is groundbreaking. We shall continue having sessions in detail. Yeah, so these sessions are meant to continue every last Thursday of the month, and we shall be suggesting topics to cover and also engage better. Okay, people are saying I'm too fast. Yeah, that I saw that coming. Looking forward to downloading it. You'll download it. You'll be able to download it. After here, I'm going to upload it to the portal, and I'll share the link in the group, WhatsApp, and the portal itself. That will be very much appreciated. Okay, find request recording. Recording will be shared. Children KP inactive. So children of KPs only appear for KPs. If you select any other category, the children will not appear. Okay, please take note of that. This has been wonderful, but however, entry capture is still required. Okay. As the auto-generated ID for backlog entry, because as per example, you have given registration date was in Jan. So the ID doesn't matter. If you're entering backlog, the ID will be generated. It will still give you the pop-up for you. Even if you're entering data, maybe just looking at a client that was previously entered before the ID came in, that particular field will give you an option to generate an ID. And don't look at the date on the ID as something that is maybe categorizing a particular client. It's just a unique ID. Ignore the numbers on the ID. Ignore the months and years. Just it's a unique identifier. Don't look at the years. The answer is yes. So it will be generated for the backlog entries. Which recording can be put on the ground too. So we are raising out the track capture. Yes, we are phasing away from the track capture. So we are using the new capture app. Give us data refund. Hey, okay, about data refund, I think we shall discuss this after here. I'm not seeing option for downloading data cleaning generated. Could you please? Okay, so we shall have better sessions. We shall be uploading some clips about how we can handle these other questions that are coming in. But I think for now, let's now welcome feedback. For those that can talk, please feel free to unmute or put up your hand so that we can engage. Is anyone's hand up? From the chat, participants. Okay, so I can see Sajamba. Yes, please. Abdul.
Thank you, Aus. My question was there were two, but one has been answered. Generator that was picking the current date, yet you are entering a client who was initiated in Jan, but you have given us assurance that we should not care about that. Now, my other concern is about
Abdul, sorry, please say that again. I missed something.
The first concern was about the code generated, the unique ID generated by the auto generator, which is picking the current date of data entry instead of the month of client identification at the facility or in the community. So we saw that you are
Yes.
entering a client of Jan, but in the unique ID, it was picking the date of Feb. But you said we should not worry about that.
Yes, you shouldn't worry about that. Our reason is because this ID came in and you guys had backlog. The assumption first was that maybe we shall be entering data. The assumption of the ID is for you to enter data in real time, which is not realistic at the moment.
But I've
So-
seen some logic you've implemented on the date of birth. Can't we implement the same? At date of
Now,
birth, where automatically, if you put the date of birth, automatically it will calculate the years and then it will put down age. So can't we implement the same under the unique ID generator, such that it is picking the date from the registration date and
Yes, I
pick?
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying,
Yes.
and we thought about that, but the approach is different for the two, for the two fields. The date of birth is a program role, okay? And then
Yes.
the ID generator is also, it has a different logic on how it calculates or comes up with those IDs. So it can't pick data from the form, but rather it can pick data in real time, but not from the form as you actually get in the system. That's the challenge. So for now, reason I'm saying that you ignore it is that you might not be able to actually get the actual month or year for the client if you enter in backlog, but just look at those numbers in terms of who actually has an ID uniquely. So maybe unless you're entering data in real time, that's when you can actually relate to the ID. But also remember this ID resets every month. What only changes is the year and the month that you're actually operating in, but that will be the current month. So that ID will not change for now until maybe we get further guidance on that.
Thank you. The last concern is about the emails that we register for to help us update our passwords in case they expire or we forget. So I'm just inquiring if these emails, because I've tried using the IDEA email because it's one in my profile, but whenever I click on forgot password and I put in my username, it never sends me the link to my email. So I'm inquiring, does it work with Gmails and does it work with emails that are not work related or what? Because I've never received the reset link in my email.
Oh, to be honest, I wasn't aware about that. I think we are going to look into that. I wasn't aware about the work emails failing. If someone else is having the same issue, please reach out. We are going to look into that after here. We were not aware about that. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, Abdul, if you're done, we have, is Najib still putting up the hand? Is he off? I saw Najib or someone. Okay, anyone else with a concern? We have about 4 minutes to end this. Joseph, do you want to say hello to the team before they leave? We have about 4 minutes as maybe they think about the questions. Is there anything else in the chat as I'm checking? Joseph, anything that you want to say to the group?
Thank you so much, Elsie. And I think everyone has loved this. I hope we keep the momentum and our colleagues continue logging in timely for us to manage time and then have more time for discussions. One last thing I can pass on to the team is that the KP community tools are in operation. And so we expect the ICs to have standalone tools different from facility tools. So facilities, we should desist from tasking DICs to use facility tools. And also DICs have the client ID, which they are expected to assign to clients or to whenever they go for services. It is different from the facility ID. The DIC ID has 3 variables, actually 4, the DIC initials, the venue where the client was served from, / and the serial number. Other than that, I think we shall continue discussing in the subsequent engagements. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joseph. I can see some comments again in the chat. You're saying that what is the default date? Data entry, just inquiring, and you're saying that especially for us who get clients that don't give us their date of birth. Okay, this is a bit confusing, but I think you're relating to the date of birth field at the registration. So we said if you don't have date of birth, however much it's recommended because it's more accurate than anything else. Then you just estimate the number of years for the client and put in the years. So if you go back to the tool, we have, I hope time can allow just for me to show you that part of it. Cool. Let me just go to tracker capture, or the capture now. I'll select that, go to this, then I create a new person. So this particular part, if you don't have a date of birth, but we recommend this, encourage them to give you a date of birth. But if in cases when they don't have, you can easily just type in the years. Okay, if it's 24, just type in 24, and it will auto-populate the other fields and also calculate for you the date of birth automatically. Hope that answers you. And back to the chart. So should we start using the capture, and we need more. These have been supersonic. Yeah, I've been supersonic too. But we are encouraging you to use the capture app moving forward if you can, please, so that you can get familiar with it, and it will be easier for you to actually work with better than the other one, because you've seen the advantages it has. And the thing is that the next release won't have tracker capture. So if you're using it now, it will be your last time. So it's better you start now before we actually switch you entirely. So I hope that also answers you. We are at the top of the hour, so I think we can call this off. Can I ask someone to give us a closing prayer since we didn't pray at first? We were rushing out. Someone to close us out so that we can, plan for the next one. But please engage us in the group so that we can have better planning for the next engagements. Someone to pray for us, then we leave. Thank you. Anyone? You guys want to pray?
Yes, let us pray.
Thank you, Dennis.
Loving Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the good engagement that you have put us through. We thank you for everyone who has logged in today. We ask them that you give them the courage to log in again the next time that we schedule this meeting. Be with us, oh Father, as we go to depart. We're going to leave this meeting. Walk with us, guide us in whatever we're going to do to make sure that we navigate through this properly. We thank you and we ask you all this for everyone's life. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Dennis, brother. Thank you so much. So everyone else, please, bye-bye and have a great day. Please get back to whatever you are doing. Hopefully you can continue with the conversations in the chat and the portal. Bye-bye.